There's been so many times where women say to me, it's like, oh, I told him I want a divorce, but hoping he'd come back for me, but he let me pack my bags. When we push you and you succumb to us, you automatically lose us.
So after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. Because I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car.
Give him an ultimatum. Give who an ultimatum? That grown-ass man? I will help you pack.
That he doesn't know what it's like to do effort for women.
Some women still don't understand that giving a confident man an ultimatum is the quickest way to lose him, but unfortunately, the women in this video learned it the hard way.
There's been so many times where women say to me, it's like, oh, I told him I want a divorce, but hoping he'd come back for me, but he let me pack my bags. So sometimes they file for divorce or take it that far as a way of testing their partner. And if they're with quite a healthy partner, they'll think you mean it.
So many women try to...
I like when she said this.
Sometimes they file for divorce or take it that far as a way of testing their partner. And if they're with quite a healthy partner, they'll think you mean it.
The easiest way to lose a confident man who knows himself is to use this type of strategy. It only works with guys who aren't sure about themselves or are dependent on their spouse. Don't try it with a mature and secure guy because you are going to lose him.
Test their men constantly.
It's an evolutionary thing because here's the reality. Childbirth is potentially fatal. So to put that risk onto a relationship, he better be able to endure all types of storms. So we have to test them. So we have to, unfortunately, test them. We have to test, are they going to be faithful, financially stable, have their own boundaries? Now, the problem is, unfortunately, for men, when we push you and you succumb to us, you automatically lose us. What we're saying when we're pushing you is really make sure you don't give in to this, because if you do, then I know you're not strong enough.
Like, give me an example.
It might be something like I push a man to say, I'm going to come home when I want. I'm going to come on girls' trips. I'm going to do whatever I want. And then when you actually give in and say, okay, essentially she feels like she's not being protected. So she feels like nobody's governing her.
You don't have a spine.
You're not responsible. Or she might say, I'm talking to my ex-boyfriend, and you say, I don't feel comfortable with that. She'll be like, no, you have to, I have to. Fine, he accepts it. Essentially, she's saying that you don't mind if I have an affair. Bye. Essentially, what we're begging for sometimes is the boundary. We're not looking for you to bow down. So hard for men to figure that out. Though.
Right.
I feel so bad
So
for men.
funny.
It's like reverse psychology all the time, unfortunately.
I will let 10,000 women go if they try that. A healthy woman shouldn't be asking for divorce unless she means it. It's a serious matter. A good man, at least in my culture, will tell her to take space, maybe spend time at her parents' home, to think whether that is what she truly wants. They also risk getting the boundary enforced. Guys with a backbone and options won't try to control you. We will just let you go on your way. If you're going to give an ultimatum, be prepared for the worst case scenario. Allow it. Go play those games with yourself single. Listen to what she said here.
Now, the problem is, unfortunately for men, when we push you and you succumb to us, you automatically lose us.
No lie detected. She said it well, because once they give you an ultimatum and you give in, it's done. It's over because the relationship will be based on this type of behaviors until she loses respect and eventually leave for a stronger partner, someone with a backbone. Sometimes we think giving in is the best option as it will end the issue, but it has the opposite effect, because from the moment you allow it once, you need to be ready for many more in the future. She said those tests are somehow related to human evolution, and for some reason, they have to test their partner. If that is the case, they better use another subject to perform those tests. Don't use something as serious as their marriage, because a healthy guy will believe it. They also need to know that a mature man doesn't care about evolution. If you put him against the wall, make sure you mean it and are willing to deal with the outcomes of that action, and be aware that he will not put up with it and you are more likely to lose him. A mature man doesn't play games, therefore, it's a bad idea to use this type of strategy, especially when involving our family stability. It becomes more interesting when they say it without meaning it. This is where they get the reality check, as those guys will always take their words for it and consider it as be the truth. This is when they start to regret it and want to take their word back, but in some cases, it's no longer possible, as the damage has already been done.
Next, we have a woman who decided to drop an ultimatum on her partner of 3 years She wanted him to marry her, but he didn't seem interested, so she applied some pressure on him, but it backfired. Now she regrets her decision. Let's have a look at it.
So after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me.
But who told you it's a good idea to put a mature man against the wall? Why would you want to go this far to get him to marry you? Even if you went on with it, would it be worth it? This is the worst strategy to get a man to marry you. It will never work with a man who knows himself.
For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
The biggest problem with ultimatums is that if you give in to one, you'll just get more of them. This man was smart not to negotiate. An ultimatum reveals just how weak the position of the person issuing the ultimatum is. I love getting ultimatums because the opposition has just painted itself into a corner that which there is no escape from. When my husband and I were dating, I told him one time he had to get up. He sat up and said, the only things I have to do is breathe and die, then went back to sleep. Yeah, you can't make a strong man do anything. Exactly what I told my wife early on when we got into an argument, and she threatened to leave. I said we both know where the door is. If you want to leave, just leave. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to understand people's thought process. If you want a guy to marry you, don't you think it would be better to have him willingly proposing? Instead of using this strategy, just become the woman he would want to marry, try to understand what he wants, and work on yourself to make his dream come true. This is the fastest and healthier way to get him excited and motivated to get married. It was interesting when she said this.
I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me.
Why would you want to put someone against the wall just to put a ring on it? This is something everyone should do without any external pressure, and I don't understand why she thought it would be a good idea to make him do it. Let's imagine he accepted it. Would she be expecting a healthy relationship out of it? Is it worth it? But the outcome of this story was interesting. He proved to her that no grown men will put up with things like this. Unfortunately, she only realized he was the man of his word when this happened.
We putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
This is when she realized it was a mistake. He wasn't bluffing, but it was already too late. She learned the hard way that a mature man shouldn't be played with, and I am surprised she didn't realize the caliber of man she had when he was telling her to do what she had to do. At that point, she should know he was serious about it. He wasn't playing, and he wouldn't do anything he didn't want to, so she either accept it or leave.
The next video shows how easy it is to get a man interested in marriage, even if he previously showed disinterest. There wasn't a need for an ultimatum. The man in the video changed his mind and was ready to marry, but she didn't have to put him against the wall for it. Deliberately, he was willing to marry her on the next day. Let's have a look at what happened.
You can read me. Like I was saying, I think we should just stay friends, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, you know, I'm just not ready for all that right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Damn. Crispy chicken. You say you cooked there? You did there? Cornbread. Cornbread. Cornbread too? This ain't Jip, this from scratch? Lord, shit. And you cook this like this all year round? It stays the same taste like this all year round? Well, I don't know, baby, look. You mind if I take my Air Max off? Look, check this out. I'm gonna take my Air Max off for a couple of years because I've been thinking, since I've been sitting here eating on this, that you might be right. We might do need to get in a relationship because, real talk, I've been hungry lately, and these women I've been dealing with, they, you know, this is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow? You want to get married tomorrow? Because that look like that was finna happen. I don't want to be single no more. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and get married tomorrow. And I'm going to bring my little TV and my little VCR that I got, my 4 pair of boxes that I got at the crib with mom, and bring them on over here with you, because look like this is my home. Look like I got a phone to happy home.
Listen to this.
This is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow?
As you can see, it's easy to get a man to change his mind when it comes to marriage and relationships. Most of us are simple, and as soon as we find what we are looking for, we will be willing to go further. There isn't a need for an ultimatum. You cook like this all year round? This is how women got men and kept men. Not Victoria's Secret, just like this. Why she home cooking for a man that don't want her? We gon' get married tomorrow. He switched up real quick after the taste of love with the food. He sat down single and got up engaged. I've been looking for this taste is the best line. Facts, that's how I fell in love with my girl. Cooked me some fire food on the second date. Did she have to do anything else? She just had to cook, and that got her a man. A lot of women don't know this, but we are not complicated at all. It's that simple. From the moment we find our ideal person, we are ready to go, and this is why it was a bit sad when the woman in the previous video felt the need to put her ex-partner against the wall to make him marry her. It's so unnecessary, and this is why it didn't work. She should know he didn't do it after 3 years because he didn't want to. We don't need anyone to tell us who or when to marry. This is something we control and can't be influenced externally. Back to the guy enjoying his food. Did you see how comfortable he became? My man was ready to get married the next day. He was even planning to bring his 4 pairs of boxes to her house. He just wanted to make it official as soon as possible before she was snatched by another guy. This also shows that wives don't stay single for a long time. Before he started eating, he was single and not ready for anything, but after the first spoon, he changed his mind and started considering something else. But after the cornbread, he was ready to get married tomorrow. That woman is powerful.
Lastly, we have a woman that was shocked after understanding that not all men are simps. Let's have a look at her video.
I don't want to go to your house. He's like, oh, okay, then I'm gonna drop you back home. And I'm like, what? I cannot believe at this point in my life, I'm like, okay. So then like I had something, okay, at 10 p.m. So then I told him like, oh, can you at least drop me where I'm going? Like, so then I will stay there. He's like, I'm not gonna drive all the way there. You know what I told him via text? I told him like, look, the last thing you will hear from me is that you deserve the people that you're with. Like, you deserve the woman that you're with, because we're talking about a man that he doesn't know what it's like to do effort for a woman. He's like, let's go buy a pack of donuts and we will go to my house. Why? For what? Why would I go to your house? Even if it's not the first time I see you, why would I do that? Guys, can you imagine the shock? So he dropped me back home, okay? And I'm like, okay, thank you for the tour. You gave me a tour in the city. Loved it.
He is not your taxi. Be glad he said he would drop you off by your house. He could have said bye and told you to walk 5 minutes to your house. He is absolutely right. Why would he put effort if he is not getting anything back? Even the birds of paradise dance and perform for the female before they get the action they want. Also, he is not your Uber. Why you ask him to take you to another place? Strange that you still don't differentiate between boys and decent guys and create drama after wasting his time. Poor guy got the wrong girl who is searching for content. Apparently, she was dealing with a confident guy and didn't know. She thought he was another simp she was used to, but the confusion was clarified. This is what happens when simps spoil modern women to the point they start thinking they are entitled to get things done for them for nothing. She expected a grown man to drop her at another place as if he was her driver, but he was smart and confident enough to let her know it won't happen, and this is why she decided to make this video. But I am glad she learned something from it. Now she knows not all men are simps.
This is the end of today's video. If you like it, I'm sure you will also like the video on the screen. And thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe on your way out.